Today, we're diving into a concept that's right at the heart of chemistry and physics, absolute entropy. Now, I know it sounds super complex, but stick with me, because it really boils down to one fundamental question, one that governs everything from a messy bedroom to the fate of the entire universe. Think about it. We all know what a messy room looks like, right? It's just disorder. But what if there was a universal scale for that chaos? A cosmic scorecard that actually measures messiness? And what if, and this is the wild part, what if there was a point of perfect, absolute order? Well, figuring that out is exactly what we're going to unpack today.
So how in the world do you put a number on something as vague as messiness? Well, it turns out scientists have a really precise way to do it. And it all starts by giving chaos an official name.
And that name? It's entropy. That's the official scientific measure for the amount of randomness or disorder in pretty much any system you can imagine. Think of a neatly stacked deck of cards, that's low entropy. Now, throw them in the air, that's high entropy. The more energy and freedom things have, the more they just naturally move toward that shuffled, messy state. And the universe? Well, it seems to have a real preference for that shuffled deck. Okay, but if we're going to have a scorecard for chaos, we absolutely need a starting point. It's like a ruler needs a zero, right? Our scale for disorder needs a baseline of perfect, ultimate order. So, where do we find it? And this is where our main idea for today comes in, absolute entropy. We're not just talking about measuring a change in messiness, like how a room gets dirtier over a week. No, we're talking about measuring the total, absolute amount of disorder a substance has, starting from a universally agreed upon baseline of perfect order. So you can see the two extremes right here. On one side, you have perfect order. Imagine a flawless crystal where every single atom is locked perfectly in place, not even vibrating. That's our 0 point. On the other side, total chaos, the random, energetic dance of particles in a gas. Everything we see and touch exists somewhere on the spectrum between these two states. Now, the state of perfect order, it can only happen at one very, very specific temperature, absolute zero. 0 Kelvin, that's minus 273.15 degrees Celsius or minus 459.67 Fahrenheit. It is the coldest temperature that is theoretically possible anywhere in the universe. It's the point where all that jiggling and vibrating of atoms just stops. And that right there is the key. That's why absolute zero is so important. It gives us a fixed, universal starting line. It means a scientist in a lab in one country can measure the absolute entropy of, say, water, and get the exact same value as a scientist on the other side of the planet. It's a fundamental constant of nature. Okay, so we've found our 0 point. Great. But how do we actually measure the journey from that state of perfect order all the way to the level of disorder we see in a substance right now at room temperature? And that really is the big question, isn't it? I mean, you can't just stick a thermometer in something and have it read out entropy. The process is a bit more conceptual, but honestly, it's pretty darn cool. The whole method is basically a brilliant thought experiment. So picture this. You start with a perfect crystal at absolute zero, where we know the entropy is 0. Then you imagine adding just one tiny, tiny unit of heat. That causes the atoms to vibrate a little, introducing a tiny bit of disorder. And we can calculate exactly how much entropy that little bit of energy added. Then we do it again and again, adding heat bit by bit all the way up to whatever temperature we want, tallying up the total accumulated disorder with every single step. This might all seem super theoretical, right? Like just numbers on a page. But this is where it gets really exciting, because understanding absolute entropy has these profound real-world consequences. So what's the big payoff for all this? Well, in a word, prediction. The universe, as a rule, always tends to move towards higher entropy, towards greater disorder. So by knowing the absolute entropy of different chemicals, we can actually predict whether they'll react with each other on their own, without any outside help. And this predictive power is nothing short of revolutionary. It's the key to engineering new materials that are stronger or lighter or more durable. It helps us decode the unbelievably complex biological processes that keep all of us alive. It's at the very core of developing more efficient technologies, and it's absolutely essential in the race to design the next generation of life-saving medicines. Let's make this real with a simple example. You ever wonder why iron rusts? Well, by calculating the change in absolute entropy, we can predict that, yes, iron will rust on its own in the presence of oxygen and water. It happens spontaneously because the final product, rust, is actually a more disordered state than the original iron and oxygen. This is also crucial for pretty much all of our technology. The efficiency of any engine or any battery is fundamentally limited by entropy. There's always this kind of entropy tax that gets paid in the form of wasted, disordered heat. By understanding these limits, engineers can design way more efficient systems, from the car in your driveway to the power grids that light our cities.
And think about pharmaceuticals. A drug only works if it can find and bind to a very specific target inside your body. That whole process involves changes in order and disorder. So understanding the absolute entropy of the molecules involved helps chemists design drugs that will effectively and spontaneously find their targets inside the incredibly chaotic system that is a human cell. So let's just take a second to recap the journey. We started with this purely theoretical idea, a point of perfect stillness at absolute zero. And we followed that thread all the way to its practical use in predicting chemical reactions, building better batteries, and designing life-saving medicines. It's just a beautiful example of how a deeply fundamental idea can have a massive real-world impact.
And that leaves us with one last kind of massive question. There's a rule, the second law of thermodynamics, that says the total entropy of the universe is always increasing. It's constantly getting messier. It's the reason time seems to flow in only one direction. The arrow of time always points toward more disorder. So, if we can measure the entropy of the universe's parts, does that mean we can truly understand its past and maybe, just maybe, predict its ultimate fate? Something to think